Let's look at the solutions for the quiz first. Question 1. Why are some popular modules not in core? So the answer is B. They were not ready in time for a major Drupal release. A, they do not meet 50% of all use cases isn't quite right. It should meet 80% of all use cases before a module gets entered into core. C, translations aren't a requirement for a module, though they're a plus. And D, they were not created by a respected developer. While evaluating the developer is helpful for figuring out whether a module is worth installing, a module for Drupal core is chosen on the basis of merit. Question 2. Which contributed module releases get security advisories? And the answer is only stable releases. Nothing else does. And this is an important thing to remember if you're using any other version of a module. Question 3. The word admin is a secure username. True or false? False. The reason being that admin is a commonly used username. So with bots that are trying to force their way into a site, admin is one of those usernames that they're going to try early on. It doesn't necessarily mean that hackers are going to get into your site if you have a user called admin. They would have to know the password as well. But in general, it's good to choose a username that's a little more unique, especially for the administrator accounts on your site. Question 4. Which core module is responsible for adding the responsive toolbar at the top of the screen? The answer is toolbar. The admin toolbar module is a helpful addition to the toolbar, and it creates hover over drop-down menus. But it's not a core module, and it doesn't create that toolbar. Toolbar does. And question 5. What was the text of the quick edit link that we clicked to remove the site title? The answer is edit block. The point of this question is to get you thinking about what exactly it is that we're editing on the page. Okay, let's move to the challenges. So our first challenge was find a popular Drupal 8 module, more than 5,000 users in the Drupal 8 version, to install, evaluate its health, install it, uninstall it, and remove the module folder. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find a Drupal 8 module. So I'm going to go to drupal.org, and I'm going to click Download and Extend. And here at the top, I'm going to narrow this down to Modules. And down here, there's a Drupal module section, and we can narrow down which modules we want to see based on the Drupal version. So I'm going to search for 8, and what we're interested in is the most installed here. The one at the very top is called Chaos Tool Suite, and we can see more of these if we click the More Most Installed link. This is a great place to get ideas about what modules are being used the most out in the wild. So let's do this top module, Chaos Tool Suite. We'll end up installing this module later as a dependency of a different module. So let's check out how many users there are. So it looks like it's getting close to 1 million. Let's see if there are more than 5,000 in the Drupal 8 version. I'm going to scroll down. Drupal 8 version, 14,000. So we're good to go. I'm going to go back. The next thing I would look at is all issues. And it looks like there are about 1,000 open of 3,000. So that's about a 30% ratio. Even though this is a ton of issues, that's still pretty good. I'm going to scroll up to the top and see how recently this has been worked on. So it looks like the last commit was about a month ago. So this is still a pretty active module. The fourth thing I'm going to do is look at one of the maintainers. Now, when it comes to evaluating maintainers, you can look at all of these to get a sense of who it is that's worked on this project. But Eclipse GC, Chris, has been working on this most recently. So we scroll down, you can see that Chris works on a lot of different projects. And he's been a member for over 10 years. So these are all positive signs. I'm going to go back, and the last thing I want to look at is the types of releases that there are. Right now for Drupal 8, there's an Alpha 26. It's not a recommended release. So this is the only thing that isn't giving a positive signal, but everything else checks out. So let's install this. I'm going to copy the tarball link. I'll go back to our site, go to Extend, Install New Module, paste in the URL, and click Install. All right, and we can even enable it if we want to. I'll type in ctools here, and here we go. Now our challenge just said to install it and then uninstall it. So instead of enabling it, let's go ahead and just remove the folder. So I'm going to go to our site folder, and in the modules folder, there is the ctools folder. So I'm just going to delete this. All right, challenge number 1 complete. Challenge number 2 is figure out how to narrow down issues in the admin toolbar issue queue to just the specific version that you're using. So I'm going to do a search for admin toolbar, head over to that page, and let's open up the issue queue. We can do that by clicking on either of these links, but I like to see all of them, even the ones that are resolved. And here at the very top of the issue queue are filters that we can use to narrow down which issues that we're looking at. So first of all, let's check which version that we're using of admin toolbar. So I'm going to go back to the extend page and I'll list all of the modules. I'm going to narrow down by admin. And here we are. If I click this drop down here, it gives us the exact version of the module that we're using. So 8x 1.15. So let's narrow down by that version. So here's the version drop down. So we can narrow down by just version 8, and that will include all of the different releases of the 8 version of the module, but the specific one that we're looking for is 1.15. So we'll narrow it down and then click search. So it doesn't look like there's an awful lot, but there's a few here. So knowing how to use these filters is pretty valuable. You'll find that value grow the more you work with Drupal. All right, let's jump to our third challenge. Send a message to the developer of Admin Toolbar or Coffee to thank them for their work using the Drupal.org contact form. Okay, so here we are on Drupal.org. Now to do this, you're going to need a Drupal.org account, and there are a lot of reasons to set one up if you haven't set one up already. One reason is that prospective employers will look at the age of your account as they try to evaluate how well you know Drupal. And another is that it opens up the possibility of actually using Drupal.org to contribute or communicate. So you can use the forums when you have questions, you can use the issue queues when you find problems or solutions. So I'm going to log out just so you can see what the process is here. And you'd click the login register link. You'd put in your username and password. And I'm going to choose to send a message to the Admin Toolbar maintainer. So I'm going to search for Admin Toolbar. Now there's a few results here, but I'm going to click on Admin Toolbar here. Okay, this is the one that we're looking for. I'm going to click on the username for the maintainer that's made the most recent commit, and I'm going to see if I can find their name here. So it says at the top, Romain Girard. So I'll click contact. For the subject, I'll say, thank you for Admin Toolbar. Go ahead and put what you'd like in the message box, and then click send message. Knowing that you can reach out to people who are working on modules and on Drupal core is really powerful. They're all real people out there. Every part of Drupal and Drupal modules have been built by real people, and it's good to remind yourself of that once in a while. Okay, so we've completed the 3 challenges. It says press return when complete. Let's do that. Ha! All right, let's continue to the next chapter.